So I'd like to focus your attention on the aspect of our physical form, our bodies that connects us in a more genuine level. Years ago when I took anatomy and physiology, one of the things that stuck to me was, actually it was my EKG class, I think, where they spoke about the sinoatrial node in our hearts. And my professor explained how this specific node is what generates the electrical current that makes our heart beat. And every single live organism has some type of generator within our bodies that creates life, basically. Very spiritual. I've grown so much since I've taken those classes. And I can tell you that no wonder that stuck to me, because that electrical current that we all share, that everyone has, without that electrical current, you wouldn't be able to breathe. You wouldn't be able to live. And that electrical current is what connects us all. It's so beautiful. It's amazing. And I want everyone to understand that. There's a tiny part inside your heart ventricles that originate your heartbeats. And with every single origination of your heartbeat, you have the ability to create a new reality with every single heartbeat, because every single heartbeat is generated by that electrical current. It's not continuous. Every single one of our heartbeats is an independent heartbeat. And our hearts beat from before we are born. We are all so connected. And what I've learned from doing a lot of reading, self-education is very important, guys. What I've learned is that the energy within us that connects us is continuous. Our physical reality is temporary, and it's always been temporary. And that just, think about it. All of your experiences, you've had those experiences, whether you've learned from those experiences or not, you've had those experiences. And regardless whether they're negative or positive, you're still here listening to this, because we're all connected. And because our reality is temporary. And because we're all connected, and because our reality is temporary, you should know that any emotion or feeling that you currently have and you're currently experiencing is produced by your heart, by the initiation of your energy. Any and all emotion that you experience, our emotions is what guides our reality. Our emotions are what produces a positive or negative result. We have to learn how to use our emotions. We have been conditioned and we've been brainwashed for so long that some of us are unable to discern between our personal thoughts and the thoughts that were conditioned or programmed into our brain. So some of us still react to emotion in the way that we were taught to react, instead of using our own discernment and reacting the way we feel is best to react to those emotions. I can tell you from personal experience, any and all emotions, especially any hurtful emotion, any trigger that you experience in your present reality is due because you've yet to resolve those experiences or those emotions that arose from that original experience. So because of that, you keep ignoring the fact, and you keep ignoring the fact, but it's still in the back of your mind. Our subconscious is what produces the emotional response to stimuli. And it's up to us to be able to be strong enough to discern between that reaction that our subconscious has because of our personal discernment and the reaction that we were thought to have because of centuries of conditioning. Psychological warfare and psychological conditioning is a very real, scientifically proven way to create a specific structure. We have been structured in our society to follow rules, and we've been misguided to think of respect in a completely different way. I have learned that a lot of us have different characteristics or ideals of what is right and wrong, and those ideals have been conditioned onto us. Right or wrong doesn't really constitute anything specifically other than what is right or wrong for you at that moment. And the sad part about it is that most of our society has been conditioned for so long. I'm telling you, it took me 2.5 to 3 years to deprogram myself. And I did it. I started like a toddler. I started by taking out the negative wording out of my vocabulary. Because when you learn about the law of attraction and manifestation and quantum and just vibration in general and what vibration is, you learn that every single thought that you create in your mind, and especially every single word that you verbalize out of those thoughts, they give out a specific frequency. Negative words give out a low vibrational frequency versus positive words. So saying no, don't, can't, won't, it lowers your vibration by just utilizing those words. And it's not as easy as it looks. It is difficult to get past, as you just witnessed, to get past us utilizing those words because we've been conditioned that those are the words to use. A lot of people tend to use a lot of negative wording because we have been conditioned to speak regardless of whether whatever we're speaking about makes any sense or if it benefits, if it aligns us with our purpose, basically. So all of us, for me, that was the first step, taking out the negative wording out of my vocabulary and learning how to verbalize the same thoughts with positive words. And it's a beautiful process because you learn that a lot of the negative wording that we use, a lot of it is just fillers. You fill in the void because everything that you have that you can say that is positive takes less words to express. When you express happiness, it's the same thing. It's so funny that I just thought of this. It's the same thing as when you smile. I learned before taking anatomy and physiology, I learned that to smile, it takes less muscles than to frown. To smile, that's a positive body language. It takes less muscles than to frown. And it's so crazy that I just connected this because when you speak positively, your verbalization diminishes, because you learn that in order for you to verbalize your thoughts in a positive manner, you utilize more comprehensive and positive wording. Once you learn and you train your brain to take those words out of your vocabulary, it's the same as once you learn to stop consuming rice, or once you learn to take a habit out of your life, you continue that because it just comes natural. And that's something that we all need to learn. We all need to learn how to deprogram everything that's been programmed onto us since before we were born. All the cartoon, all the news, the educational system, the capitalistic system, they're all conditioning us to limit our powers, to limit our abilities as humans. Guys, there is a unique electrical current that originates from your heart with every heartbeat. This electrical current that is originated from your heart, it's unique with every heartbeat. This is why I'm so strongly about the mask wearing. I started protesting about the mask wearing when I looked at the statistics and I spoke to people about, the symptoms, and when I did my own research. When you wear a mask, our bodies were designed for our cellular structure to metabolize with the use of oxygen. Without oxygen, our blood cannot flow, our brain cannot think correctly. As a matter of fact, having a stroke is basically cutting the oxygen from your body to your brain. That's what a stroke is. Okay? So when you wear a mask, your oxygen intake is lowered. I put on a mask for 10 minutes and I cover my nose and I start getting a headache, because our bodies were created to metabolize naturally with the use of oxygen. When you put on a mask for a long period of time, it diminishes your oxygen intake, which means that your cellular structures, your cells, are unable to metabolize correctly, which means your immune system drops and you become sick. It might not happen right now, but over time, just like consuming aspartame. A lot of people don't know what aspartame is. Aspartame is the artificial sweetener that they put in all of the diet drinks, or most of the diet drinks, because a lot of people caught on to it and they switched the chemical. But I'm sure it still metabolizes the same way. Of you synthesizing, your body synthesizing aspartame, it turns into formaldehyde. Formaldehyde is the liquid that they embalm dead bodies with. So anytime that you consume a diet drink or any type of drink that contains aspartame, your body is consuming formaldehyde, basically, because your cells are metabolizing that specific chemical and they're converting it into particles of formaldehyde. So again, we're not poisoning ourselves to a point where we're gonna die tomorrow because we're consuming these chemicals. But over the period of time, you're allowing our society to allow their bodies to adapt to metabolizing at a lower oxygen level. Over time, our whole population, our human population, we're gonna be unhealthy because you guys continue to allow this. A year ago, we weren't afraid to walk outside and catching pneumonia from someone that had a cold on the train or on the street. A year ago, we weren't afraid of that. A year ago, you would have told someone that a family member died of pneumonia and they would have, said, I'm sorry for your loss, but they wouldn't have been in such a panic like they are now with COVID. When you Google the survival rate of pneumonia, the survival rate is lower than the survival rate of COVID. So why are we wearing masks? Why are we so scared to walk around in fresh air without a mask. The oxygen didn't automatically turn poisonous. The only reason why the people that control our planet are able to do this to our society is because we're allowing them to. Because they're 1% of our civilization. So 99% of us don't agree with what these people are telling us. And the ones that do agree, you guys need to do some more research. You guys need to detach your emotion from the current situation. And I know it's difficult, but in order for you to learn from your experiences, you have to learn how to detach that emotion and think of things logically. Because those people that control our society, they want you to be scared and they want you to not think for yourself. So the moment you do that, you're giving them your power. In order for you to take your power back, you have to learn how to think for yourself and detach that emotion. If you've had people die from this sickness, I'm very sorry that this happened. But don't blame the sickness, because if they would have died from a car crash, if they would have died from pneumonia, or if they would have died from any other disease out there, you would have still been in pain. You would still be going through the grieving process. Do not allow those individuals that have time and time again clearly made decisions that go against what is positive for the betterment of humanity. Do not allow them to control you, because that's all they want. That's all they want. And that's why they've created the structure they've created. That's why they created the educational system the way that it is. That's why they've created the capitalistic system. That's why they have so much control over Hollywood. That's why they control basically our politics. They control our military. They control our governments. But these people are not, these people's power are as big as it is because we have given them this power. We have allowed them to control us. Think for yourself and find a way to detach your emotion from the situation and logically think. Because this occurrence right now, just like any other experience that you've had in your life, is temporary. And your choice right now is what depicts what's going to happen in your present moment at a future time. So think about it. Really, really think about it. Because even though maybe 75% of what I'm saying might not resonate with you, but I know there's a percentage of you that agrees with part of what I said. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Help me spread the word to create a better future for our society.